bombshells. Welcome to August, or really the end of August, right? It's incredible how much has happened in the last month. It feels like such slow moving, putting a house together, but it's one of those slow movements where you know you're making bigger progress than usual. You know, you're not just getting things back to a normal, you're taking them to a new level. It's been really exciting. So anyway, I am putting out a new blog post, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow. It's becoming a real heartfelt, like, kind of declaration of intent. It's really cool, and you'll see it later, but I did want to go ahead and talk to you guys about what's going on. And one of the cool new things I'm stepping into this fall, which has been a desire of my heart for so many years, and that is I am going to Paris. I'm going to France, and I'm going to speak at a women's event about what it means to be a biblical bombshell. I'm going to go over the 12 pillars of a bombshell. It's going to be my first time really in a speaking and intimate workshop, because it's a whole weekend, really presenting and trying to help women step into, in person, this bombshell concept. So I'm really excited to experiment with it. I'm beyond excited to be doing it in France, where I was both inspired to create this and where I think there's a need for, you know, not so much the bombshell part. I think that's maybe what America needs more, but the biblical part, which is probably what France needs more. So really, really pumped about this trip. And it's also becoming a 30th birthday celebration. So we've expanded it to take up a whole week. I have this little Airbnb apartment near the Champs-Elysees that is just adorable, and I could not be more thrilled to be doing this. So naturally, I wanted to figure out how to make the most of this trip. I'm an introvert, in case you guys maybe haven't been able to detect that through my videos, but if you know me in person, you know that I am deeply restored by time alone with silence, where I can just think, where I know that no one is around the corner potentially going to talk to me. I can just completely lose myself in my thoughts and in kind of a constant prayer conversation with God, and just see the world without having to interact with it. So obviously I'll be doing the conference, but I will have a couple days beforehand and afterward to really take some personal reflection time. However, I'm going all the way over to Paris, and I don't just want to sit there and think, right? So I'm trying to figure out what would be the best use of that time, of the most gorgeous setting in the world, in my opinion, at least, you know, man-made, certainly, and of, you know, alone time, focus time, quiet time, this beautiful little apartment that I've picked largely because it's going to look great for videos. You know, the lighting is great and the setup's awesome. There's a little desk. And so I'm trying to figure out, do I want to film some new videos for the bombshell course? Do I want to launch into this massive course that I've had on my heart for a while to do around men and dating and marriage and sex and intimacy? Or do I want to just use it primarily as reflection and planning, maybe writing? Who knows? So I'd appreciate your prayers and even your thoughts. What would you love to see more of from me? Do you want me to add some video content to the bombshell training if you're in that? Or do you really want me to address, you know, honestly, I think the biggest calling on my life, which is men and marriage and sex and intimacy from a biblical, wildly biblical bombshell perspective. So let me know what you want to see more of. Let me know what you are best able to receive from me, you know, what you're interested in, all that kind of stuff. But that's all the heavy, meta, spiritual, what should I do with my time? Let's get to the fun stuff, right? Let me show you this dress. So one of my goals has been to revamp the branding around the Bombshells website. So if you're in the Bombshell training course or the Bombshell membership, it's all held on a website that I don't advertise much because it's not one of my prettiest ones, I think, called vlxbombshells.com. And unfortunately, no, you're not going to be able to access the course there if you go and think, oh my gosh, she just told me where her course is. It's just a pretty little set of pictures. But I really want to do a beautiful brand around that. And I have this vision in my mind, and I'll have to post some pictures here so you guys can give me your feedback, of, if you've seen the pictures my husband and I did for our 2-year anniversary in Paris, I had this white dress on that was kind of a high-low, so it had this flowing skirt effect, but it was still showing some leg and allowing me to move, and it was kind of a combination of romantic and fun and powerful and very female. And so I thought, okay, if I'm going to do a solo photo shoot, I kind of want to recreate that mix of feminine power, but in a red dress running around doing less romantic and stereotypical and more daring things in Paris. So I'm thinking of certain rooftops that you can access. I'm thinking of certain kind of hidden spots where the Eiffel Tower's in the background, but you're not right there necessarily. I'm thinking of some wild bridges. I've got a lot of cool ideas. So obviously, I wanted to do this wisely, and part of this video, what I want you guys to get from it is a realization that wild, crazy dreams like this, like a photo shoot in Paris in a beautiful red ball gown, are actually more accessible than you think. I was listening to a beautiful podcast the other day, and she was saying, when we think we can't have something, it hurts to want it. So, let's think about having a fitter, healthier body, or having a romantic partner or a husband, or having, financial freedom or organization, or, a happy family or children or whatever it is. When we think we can't have something in the back of our mind, maybe it's subconscious, is saying, you can't have that. It's not possible. It's not going to work for you. It doesn't want you, or whatever it might be. It hurts to have the desire. And so we start to just get jealous, or we, say it's impossible. We get despair ridden, or we just get bitter, or we form all these untruths around why we can't have that. When in reality, when we start to say, okay, I know I have this desire. I'm going to check in and make sure with God that it's a calling. And if I can't tell, I'm just going to keep moving forward with it until he clearly says absolutely no. And I believe in really like banging down the door before you receive a no, so that you tried. It's more possible than you might think. And when you admit to yourself that maybe I can pull this off, maybe I can do this, then the wanting becomes a delight, and it becomes a fuel to figure out how you're going to make it happen. Okay. So I was thinking when I was planning this trip, my gosh, it would be so freaking fun to have a Paris photo shoot and really completely rebrand the whole Bombshell website and social media. Not all of it, but just the subset of this Bombshell training and the Bombshell manifesto, and the colors around that are kind of white, black, neutrals essentially, and then pops of red and gold. Really, really stunning stuff. So how can I make that happen? Oh my gosh, aren't dresses, hundreds of dollars, and photo shoots are thousands of dollars? Well, I got on Google and I figured out how I'm going to make this happen. And wait till you see this dress. I ordered this dress off of AliExpress, which I used to think was an absolute spam site until Chalene Johnson did an entire session at one of her conferences on how to buy in bulk from AliExpress something you love and then resell it yourself. And she said, we've checked them. They're actually quite reputable. It's like, the Google or the Amazon of China. And so I was like, okay. So I went to AliExpress, and sure enough, the prices there are so much lower. It's unbelievable. So I found this red dress that fits exactly what I'm looking for. Hey, Susan. So there's a whole process to how I do this, and maybe I'll do a longer video. In fact, I have a video, and I'll post it sometime for you guys to see, that I did about the photo shoot my husband and I did for our kind of wedding look in Paris a couple years ago. And it talks about how I come up with a vision, how I create Pinterest boards, like 3 or 4 Pinterest boards, as I create a vague vision of just poses and locations, a vision of how we're going to look in the outfits, all that kind of stuff, and then slowly narrow it down to just one mood board that shows everything once I've finalized exactly what I want. And then I got to go figure out where that exists on the internet so I can buy it and make it happen, right? That white dress I found in Russia on the back streets for like 100 ruble, which I don't even know what that converts to, but it wasn't that much money. And this one, $50 US. It was 54, but $50, no shipping, free shipping. Let's check out this dress. Now, I haven't opened it, so it could be that I made a huge mistake, and I don't know that you're allowed to return things easily. But let's find out, okay? Pardon all the plastic ripping noise. The right color, right? That's the right color. That's the key. Not too dark, not too orangey. Okay, here we go. So it's very, very similar to that dress I wore in the pictures with David. But here's the bodice, and it's kind of a rosette with little rhinestones, which are a little goofy, but they might not show up, I don't think, in the pictures. And then this belt. The white dress I had in the other pictures actually had a red belt too, and after taking a couple pictures in it and deciding whether or not I liked it, I just chopped it. Honestly, I just killed it, and so it was an all-white dress. But this, because it's the same color, usually, and this is kind of getting into my fashion tips, although feel free to not take them, have whatever you want to do. I don't like sashes because I feel like it breaks the line of the female body, and the elongated line is what's so beautiful to watch a woman move, and she's long, and anyway. I digress. So I don't usually like sashes, but this one being the same color actually could work. So let's see. Okay, it's definitely high-low. I'll have to put it on to see how high we're talking about and whether I need a little slip under there to kind of extend the length. But it looks like it could be pretty good. You guys see this? So I wanted kind of the ruffle, fluffy effect, and I think once I either iron these or just pat them down a little bit, they're going to work perfectly. And the color is dead on, and then the train just keeps on going and going and going. So I think we have a winner. I'll put it on, not on video, and I will come and post a picture of it for you guys. I might need my husband to do the back of it for me. It looks like it's a corset back, which I do remember now. So it's half zipper and then corset at the top, which is nice. It gives me a little wiggle room in case I get over there and need a bunch of macaroons. So that should work beautifully. So it's gonna happen. It's crazy. So that's what I'm gonna wear. It's like when you order something from China, half of you wonders if it's ever going to come, right? How is this possibly going to happen? So the dress has arrived. I'll tell you a couple more details about this. And what I want you guys to hear in this is how to kind of hack your desires. And just like I was saying, those things that we don't think we can have, how could you actually go ahead and start making it insanely possible, start making it actually happen? I spent so much time looking at these silly red dresses, picking one I liked, and finally I just bit the bullet and bought one. Like, boom, okay? I checked the reviews, you know, that tend to arrive, and it tends to be the item that people ordered, you know, and I just finally was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to see. And because I'm so far out from the trip, if it doesn't work out, I can do something else. I've got some time. I've got some wiggle room. So I just freaking did it. And the other thing is I booked a photographer. Now, last time we worked with this amazing photographer named Fran, who we adore. He's currently getting married to his fiance, which is pretty awesome. But his prices, possibly because he is so awesome, have gone up dramatically. And so for my purposes, with this just being a business shoot rather than a big family celebration anniversary shoot, I have found this really cool service called Ever photo shoot or Ever photography or something like that. I'll post a link if you're really interested. And you might be, because they're actually at cities all over Europe and maybe even in Asia as well. And it's professional photographers who kind of come together in this little co-op, and you get a free photo shoot with them. A free photo shoot with them, free with one caveat, and I'll tell you what it is. You buy only the pictures that you like, and it's like €7 per picture. And if you're going to order pictures, I think there's a base order that comes to about €210. But that's over a 3 to 5 hour photo shoot. And compare that to €2,000 just for the photo shoot before you even get all the pictures that you want. You get some, but not all of them. So it's an incredible rate. And if you don't like any of the pictures that they take, it's a free shoot. It's just comped. Like, you know what? It didn't work. I'm so sorry. Hey, at least we spent some time together. Go off and have an awesome life, you know, no worries. Free photo shoot if it doesn't work out. Insane. So this is popping up all over European cities for people who want a more affordable option. But looking at the quality of the pictures, and they have a couple sample galleries, it's pretty outstanding. So jumped right on that. Boom. Booked one. Don't know the weather. You know, we're just going to find out what happens. It's going to be fine. And then I've been creating a Pinterest board around where I want to shoot, poses I might want to have, just a general look I want to create for this brand. I put a ton of time and study into what I create, because I really deeply believe that beauty is part of a service. Beauty is part of healing. Beauty is part of teaching. It's part of inspiring people to imagine what's possible now and what's going to happen eventually in heaven, right? So it's part of kind of stirring up the human desire for something better and to try to keep going for something better. So, lost my train of thought. I got all excited and caught up in that. But anyway, I take a ton of time to do this. And if you don't want to spend a ton of money on creating something like this, and of course I'm not talking about getting married, although maybe you're planning a wedding, I find that the way to have something beautiful but not expensive is to put a ton of time into researching and planning. So I could have easily bought, you know, the first dress I found on Google for $500, but because I spent days looking through the bowels of AliExpress, I found one that's pretty much equivalent for $50, right? So if you are trying to accomplish something, I don't want your fear to slow you down so that at the end you've proven yourself right that you can't do it. Start so far ahead in advance with little steps and bold action that may or may not work out, but it's not going to kill you, that you start to make those desires inevitable rather than proving to yourself that no, in fact, it's not going to happen for you, right? Don't delay thinking it's going to happen sometime. What I have discovered is that nobody's going to do it for me. honestly, sometimes including God. I have to show that I am willing to participate in the creation of something and step into it and take action. And even if the action is flawed, that's when he starts to straighten the paths. It's because I started walking instead of sitting and hoping that someone would come and pick me up and take me there, you know? So whatever it is you're looking to create, don't doubt your ability to. Start taking small actions and then hack it. Figure out how to do it cheaply, affordably, you know, quickly, easily, beautifully, and in a way that fits with your schedule and meets other people's needs and becomes this beautiful kind of addressing multiple things at once thing, which is exactly what I'm hoping this trip will be. So I hope that's moderately inspiring. I will post a picture of myself in the dress later on, I promise. But I also want to hear from you guys. I'm going to Paris and I'm bringing you along virtually. What do you want to hear from me? Do you want me to talk about men and marriage and sex and femininity and just kind of the whole sexual side of womanhood, which is a profound passion of mine? Or do you want me to just revamp the bombshell training and stick with that and make it prettier and add some video content? Or do you guys just want to hear my personal reflection? Or are you really going to push me and say, I want you to do all three, Jackie. Get over there and work, girlfriend. This is not a vacation, work. So I would love to hear what kind of content you're interested in and just what inspires you most. Is it videos? Is it pictures? Is it text? What kind of topics? I'm here to help you. I'm here to step into my full calling and make sure I'm always authentically doing what God wants me to do, regardless of reception. But I also do care, and I think that you guys are one of the ways I figure out what God's asking me to do. So let me know, and also let me know what desire, it doesn't have to be epically huge, but something that feels like if you were to take some action on it, you really could make it happen, maybe before the end of the year. What desire do you have that you have been telling yourself is going to be too big for you to tackle, and so you've been giving yourself an excuse from taking action on it, but that you actually could take imperfect, flawed, quick action and get closer to it more than you might even expect, okay? Let me know. I love you, ladies. I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon. Until then, have a beautiful day and a gorgeous weekend. Bye.